What's going on YouTube? It's the Man of Dorks back again. My name is Jeremy, and today I'm bringing you a deck tech on one of my newly built decks. It's very fun, more like casual, and just if you want to build a fun deck to try and fight people with your fists, this is the way to go. So we'll go through today and show you what I play and introduce the commander. So the commander we're introducing is Yargle and Multani. So Yargle and Multani is a 3 generic, 2 black, 1 green commander with no effect, 18/6 body, frog spirit elemental. So he is just a big beat stick that loves to punch people out of the game. So me and my brother came up with a slogan for him. His hands are definitely rated E for everyone if you want to try and just swing out. But we're going to break down the deck and show you what I run to make him fun. So starting off with 1-drop creatures. We got Birds of Paradise and Elvish Mystic. These are the 2 1-drop mana dorks I run. You could run more if you like. Swap some cards out to ramp them up a little bit more. Birds of Paradise, 1-drop, 0/1 bird, 1 green pip, flying, add 1 mana of any color. So rainbow mana dork, really good. Elvish Mystic, 1 green elf druid, 1/1, tap, add green. Then the last 1-drop creature is Insidious Fungus, a very good removal piece. So for 1 green, a 1/2 body, you may pay 2 generic, sacrifice the fungus to choose one of these effects. Destroy an artifact, destroy target enchantment, or draw a card, and then you may put a land from your hand onto the battlefield tapped. So you got good artifact removal, good enchantment removal, or if you need more cards in your hand or an extra land drop, it works that way too. Going into some 2-drop creatures. So, we run Islan Caridid, Nightshade Dryad, and Fanatic of Rojas. Islan Caridid is a 1 green, 1 generic plant, 1/1. Tap, add 1 mana of any color. If you control a creature with power 4 or greater, add 2 mana of any 1 color instead. So it works really well with Yargle, being a real big beat stick. Nightshade Dryad, a 1 generic, 1 green Dryad, 1/2, Death Touch, tap, add a generic, or tap, add 1 mana of any color. So it gets you colors, it's a Death Toucher, and it taps for a generic if you needed a spell that has to have generic cost. Fanatic of Rojas is a 1 generic, 1 green Snake Druid, 1/4, tap, add green. Then it has Ferocious, add 4 green, activate only if you control a creature with power 4 or greater. And then Eternalize, pay 2 green, 2 generic, exile this card from your graveyard, create a token that is a copy of it, except it's a 4/4 black zombie snake druid with no mana cost, and you can only Eternalize as a sorcery. So you can make its 4 green pip mana dork go live. Going 3 drops. The 1 3-drop mana dork we run, Sumberwald Sage, 2 green, 1 generic human druid, 0/1. Tap, add 3 mana of any 1 color. Spend this mana only to cast a creature spell. So it's really good to get Yargle out with this. Spot removal. We have Reclamation Sage, 2 generic, 1 green. Sorry about that. Elvish Shaman, 2/1. When this creature enters, destroy an artifact or enchantment. So good hate. Then we have 2 recursion creatures. We have Zooflift, some kind of tongue-twisted name. Osteoharmonist, I believe. So 2 black, 1 generic legendary creature, human wizard, 2/3. It has tap, return a creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. It's a skeleton in addition to its other types and has no abilities. Activate only as a sorcery. So, good way to get Yargle back. Yargle already has no effects. There's no negative. You're just making him a skeleton. And you just constantly recur an 18/6 from the grave. Looming Shaman. When it enters the battlefield, Target player shuffles any number of target cards from their graveyard into their library. So it's a good way to get some of your ramp spells back, some of your removal spells, even some of your creatures. Just great universal recursion. And then the combat tricks we run: Tavar the Pummeler and Quarcy Revenant. Tavar the Pummeler, 2 green, 1 generic, elf warrior, 3/3. Tap another untapped creature you control. Tavar the Pummeler gains indestructible, in turn tap it. 2 green, 3 generic. Creatures you control get plus XX until the end of the turn, where X is the greatest power among creatures you control. So, of course, if you control Yargle, every creature's getting plus 18/18. So, it's a pseudo Crater Hoof. And then Quarcy Revenant, 2 black, 1 generic, 3/3 vampire. Flying Death Touch lifelink. And then it has Renew. 1 black, 2 generic, exile this card from your graveyard. Put a flying counter, death touch counter, and a life link counter on target creature, activated as a sorcery. So you can put that on Yargle. You're gaining 18 life. He has death touch, and he's flying. So it's a good way to snipe people out of the game. 6 drops we run in creatures. Quilled Great Worm, Disciple Freyles. So, Quilled Great Worm is a 2 green, 4 generic, 7/7 worm with trample. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage during your turn, put that many 1/1 counters on it. It must survive to get the counters. And then you may cast this card from your graveyard by removing 6 counters from among creatures you control in addition to paying its other costs. So, that combo with Yargle, people are most likely going to block Yargle because it does only have 6 toughness, so it's easy to snipe him off the board with no trample. But if he survives the blocks, or if they just chump him with Quilled Great Worm on the board, he just gets bigger and bigger and bigger until he's too hard to handle. Disciple of Freyles, 3 green, 3 generic, elf druid, 3/3. When Disciple of Freyles enters the battlefield, you may sacrifice another creature. If you do, gain X life, draw X cards, where X is that creature's power. Plays really well in the Yargle. Gain 18 life, draw 18 cards. It's just great. And then if worse comes to worse, of course, Disciple of Freyles is an MDFC, which can flip into Garden of Freyles. It's just a forest land that is a bolt to you or it enters tapped. The only 7-drop creature we run. So Pindrail, Hunger Dominus. 2 green, 5 generic, 4/6 Phyrexian Horror. Legendary creature, Reach. At the beginning of each combat, not just yours, so every combat, double the power and toughness of each creature you control until the end of the turn. So Yargle's coming in as a 36/36 and a 12/12, or a 12 toughness. He has a 36 power and 12 toughness. I'm sorry, I don't know why I said 36/36. And then he has 2 Phyrexian green, so 4 life or green or green and 2 life. Sacrifice 2 other creatures, put an indestructible counter on Zapedriel. And the last creature we run, the 8-drop, Ancient Adamantoise. 3 green, 5 generic, turtle, 8/20, vigilance, and ward 3. Damage is not removed from this creature during cleanup steps. All damage will be dealt to you, and other permanents you control is dealt to him instead. And then, of course, when he dies, you get 10 tapped treasure tokens. So it's a good protection creature. It keeps Yargle alive from being blocked. Or if you're getting burned out, it goes to Ancient Adamantoise. It's just really, really good to keep him going. Alright, going to some sorcery spells. The 1-drop sorcery run, Abundant Harvest. 1 green sorcery. Choose a land or non-land. Reveal the top cards of your library until you reveal a card of the chosen kind. Put that card in your hand, the rest on the bottom in a random order. So it's really good if you need a quick land, or if you're trying to fish for another spell to help you out. This will help you do it. And for 1 green, and a cheap card at that, it's good to have. Alright, going into 2 drops. Got Nature's Lore, 3 Visits, Farseek, and Rampant Growth. These are, of course, the ramp spells to help get you what you need. Nature's Lore, 3 visits, Farseek, and Rampant Growth. They all have the same CMC of a 1 green, 1 generic. Nature Lore. Search your library for a forest, put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle. It doesn't enter tapped. 3 visits is the same. Search your library for a forest, put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle. Farseek searches for any of the other basic types except forest and put it onto the battlefield tapped. And then Rampant Growth, search your library for any basic land, put it on the battlefield tapped. So all of these are cheap spells to get out your lands, to get Yargle out as quick as possible. And then the 1 draw spell and 1 tutor we run in 2 CMC. Sign in Blood, 2 black. Target player draws 2 cards, loses 2 life. And of course, Demonic Tutor, 1 black, 1 generic. Search your library for any card. On to some 3 drops. We have Kodama's Reach and Cultivate. Of course, both do the same thing, same CMC. Search your library for 2 basic land cards. Reveal those cards. Put 1 onto the battlefield tapped and the other into your hand, then shuffle. So both of those net you 4 lands to get when you play them together. So you get 2 apiece, 1 to the battlefield tapped and the other to your hand. So it's a good way to ramp out for Yargle. Just simple ramp. Then we have Read Bones and Grim Tutor. Read the Bones, 2 generic, 1 black sorcery, scry 2, then draw 2 cards, you lose 2 life. So it's another draw spell. And of course, Grim Tutor, 2 black, 1 generic, search your library for any card, put it to your hand, lose 3 life. And then the 1 3-drop removal spell. Toxic Deluge, 1 black, 2 generic as an additional cost, pay X life. All creatures get -X till the end of the turn. Good way to, if you pay 5 life and you can kill majority of the board, you have Yargle still out there, it's a good way to try and go for a kill shot. On to some 4 drops. The only 2 4 drops we run. Calling Ritual, Damnation. Calling Ritual, 2 generic, black, green. Sorcery, destroy each non-land permanent with a mana value 2 or less. Add black or green for each permanent destroyed this way to your mana pool. So if people have a bunch like Soul Ring, Arcane Signets, or any kind of cheap artifacts that they can't use right away, use that, blow them all up, get you a bunch of mana, cast Yargle. Then Damnation, 2 black, 2 generic, destroy creatures that can't be regenerated. So just a natural board wipe. And then the last sorcery we play, 5-drop, Blasphemous Edict, basically another board wipe. 2 black, 3 generic. And each player sacrifices 13 creatures of their choice. And then you may pay 1 black rather than pay the spell's mana cost if there are 13 or more creatures on the battlefield. So, black version of Blasphemous Act. Just a little stronger in my opinion. Okay, we're going on to some instants. So 1-drop instants. The first one we have is Noxious Revival. Is a good recursion spell for Phyrexian green. Put target card on top from owner's graveyard on top of their owner's library. So you can use this as a bargaining chip. You can hit someone else's graveyard if they try to fish something out, and you can get rid of it, or you can recur something of yours. Combat tricks we run in 1-drops. Giant Growth, Undying Malice, Malakir Rebirth, and Undying Evil. So Giant Growth, 1 green instant. Target creature gets +3/+3 till the end of the turn. That with Yargle, you're swinging out with Yargle. And 18/6, if you have a way to make him unblockable, that's great. Use Giant Growth, make him a 21, so that's just a 1-shot and commander lethal. Undying Malice, 1 black. Until the end of the turn, target creature gains when this creature dies, return to the battlefield tapped under its owner's control with a 1/1 counter on it. So it's a good way to keep Yargle on the board after he gets sniped and make him a bit stronger. Malakir Rebirth, 1 black. Choose target creature. You lose 2 life until the end of the turn. When that creature gains when this creature dies, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control. And it doesn't enter tap, so it's really good. You can combo that with the Disciple of Freyalise, sacking Yargle to draw 18, gain 18 life, and then, of course, it's going to return with Malakir. It's really good. All 3 of these will work with that combo. Undying Evil. Target creature gains Undying till the end of the turn. So if it dies, if it didn't have any 1/1 counters on it, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control with the 1/1 counter. So all those are really good to just keep Yargle alive or try and snipe someone out of the game. 2 drops we run. 1 removal spell, 2-drop, Assassin Trophy. Black-green instant, destroy target permanent. An opponent controls, its controller may search their library for a basic land card, put that onto the battlefield, then shuffle their library. So it's good removal, spot removal for any kind of permanent that's annoying you. Then we have 1 combat trick spell, given to violence. So 1 black, 1 generic. Target creature gets +2/+2 and gains lifelink till the end of the turn. So it makes Yargle a 20 at 28 and with lifelink. So even if they kill him, you're gaining 20 life. It's just really good. And if you combo it with the Undying spells, getting back out there and just keep going as hard as you can. And then some protection spells we run. Imps Mischief, Heroic Intervention. Imps Mischief is a 1 black, 1 generic. Change target of a spell with a single target. You lose life equal to that spell's mana value. So if someone tries to run spot removal, if you have a way to divert it to something else, that's a good way to do it. If someone tries to use a counter spell to counter your Yargle, and you have Imps Mischief in hand, still the mana to use it, make it target Imps Mischief so it just fizzles. It's a good redirect spell. Heroic Intervention, 1 generic, 1 green, instant. Permanents you control gain hexproof and indestructible till the end of turn. Just great protection in any green deck. Okay. The 3-drop instants we run. We have 1 piece of draw in 3 drops. Succumb to Temptation. You draw 2 cards, lose 2 life for 2 black and 1 generic. So it just keeps your hand full of gas to keep going. And then we have 2 pieces of removal. We have Beast Within, 2 generic, 1 green. Destroy target permanent. Its controller gets a 3/3 green beast creature token. And then, of course, Murder, 1 black, or 2 black, 1 generic. Destroy target creature. So both are just good removal. 1's creature removal, 1's anything removal. And then the 4 drops we run, all removal. We have Atomize, Fell the Profane, and Deadly Rollick. Atomize is a 1 black, 1 green, 2 generic. Destroy target non-land permanent. Proliferate, so you can proliferate some counters if you want, but just hits any non-land permanent. Fell the Profane is 2 black, 2 generic. Destroy target creature, planeswalker. And then it is also an MDFC if needed. So flips for a black land, pay 3 life, bolt yourself if you need it. I did miss out on another MDFC that we do run. Let me go back for you. I was able to cut right to it. The Malakir Rebirth is also an MDFC. I'm sorry about that. It's just a straight black land, but it enters tapped. Okay. And then, of course, Deadly Rollick is the free commander spell of the deck for 3 generic, 1 black. If you control your commander, it's free. Exile a creature, so good creature hate. All right, on to some enchantments for you. So we have the first 3 drop. We only run 3 drops, 4 enchantments total. The first one is Garruk's Uprising. When it enters the battlefield, if you control a creature with power 4 or greater, draw a card. Creatures you control have trample, and then whenever a creature of power 4 or greater enters the battlefield, draw a card. So it gives Yargle the trample that he so desperately needs, and it makes him even scarier to punch through people and get that commander damage in. Then we have basically 2 pieces of extra draw, essentially. We have Phyrexian Arena and Dark Tutelage. Phyrexian Arena, 1 generic, 2 black. At the beginning of your upkeep, draw a card, lose a life, so you're getting extra draws per turn. And then Dark Tutelage is 2 generic, 1 black. At the beginning of your upkeep, reveal the top card of your library, put it to your hand, and then you lose life to equal to its mana value. So you're getting 3 cards per turn. You just got to be careful on what you're hitting, because this deck does have some decent high CMC cards. And the last enchantment we run, Unnatural Growth, 4 green, 1 generic. At the beginning of each combat, double the power and toughness of each creature you control until the end of the turn. So it's literally the enchantment version of Zopidriel. It's really good. You can use Yargle for defense or offense with that. It's just nasty. And if you had a way to play extra combats, Yargle would just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. All right. On to some artifacts. The only 1-drop artifact we run is Soul Ring. And really good. It's a commander staple. Just 1 generic, taps for 2. Ramps you up. 2 drops ramp pieces. We have Arcane Signet, Talisman of Resilience, Felwar Stone, and Herd Heirloom. Arcane Signet, 2 generic. Taps, add 1 mana of any color to your commander's color identity. Talisman of Resilience, 2 generic. Taps for colorless, or tap for a black or green, but it deals 1 damage to you. Felwar Stone, 2 generic. Adds 1 mana of any color land an opponent could produce. And then Herd Heirloom, one of the most valuable artifacts in the deck. So for 1 generic, 1 green, tap, add 1 mana of any color. Spend this mana only to cast a creature spell, so it's used for Yargle. But it also has tap until the end of turn. Target creature you control at power 4 or greater gains trample. And whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. So you can get Yargle that trample he wants and some draws off of it. And it's really good. It's not sorcery, so you can swing out with Yargle. And as soon as they declare like a chump, you can go, oh, Herd Heirloom, I'm going to give him trample, so I'm still going to ping you and get draws. All right. And then on to some equipment that we run. Some 2-drop equipment. We have Swiftfoot Boots, Brotherhood Regalia, and Dominion Bracelet. Swiftfoot Boots, 2 generic. Artifact equipment. Equipped creature has hexproof and haste, so it gives Yargle the haste and protection he needs, and it costs 1 to equip. Brotherhood Regalia, 2 generic. Equipped creature has ward 2 and is an assassin in addition to its other type, so we got an assassin frog, and can't be blocked. So an unblockable Yargle. It normally costs 3 to equip, but only costs 1 to equip to a legendary creature. So it's another really cheap equip cost for Yargle to make him unblockable and give him ward. It's really nice. This is by far one of the best cards right here, the Dominion Bracelet. This card will make people scoop. It is not nice. So Dominion Bracelet is a 2 generic legendary artifact equipment with equip 1. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 and has pay 15, exile the Dominion Bracelet. Then you control target opponent during their next turn. So, and they don't get another turn after that, so it's a better version of Emrakul. So you can basically just skip another player's turn after you make him do that, or help that player kill someone you're trying to kill, and then snipe that player after the game. But this ability costs X less to activate, where X is this creature's power. Activate only as a sorcery. So equip to Yargle, that's just free. You're just going to equip it. I'm going to pop it and take control of the next player's turn that you want to control. And then some 3-drop equipment. Champion's Helm, Haunted Cloak. Champion's Helm, 3 generic. Equipped creature gets +2/+2. And as long as the equipped creature is legendary, it has hexproof. So it's another Swiftfoot Boots, just without the haste. And it costs 1 to equip. And gives Yargle a little bit of more power, so it makes him a 20. Haunted Cloak, 3 generic. Equipped creature has Vigilance, Trample, and Haste. And then equip 1. So all cheap equip cards, giving him the trample he needs, the haste he needs, making him where he doesn't tap. It's just great. And then the last piece of equipment, the 4-drop Leyline Axe. So it's one of the Leyline cards. If you open it in your hand, it starts out on the board. But otherwise, it's 4 generic. Artifact equipment. It states, of course, if it's in your opening hand, you can start the game with it on the battlefield. The equipped creature gets +1/+1, has double strike and trample. So a double striking Yargle is absolutely atrocious. And it costs 3 to equip. And then The last 3-drop utility artifact we have is Requiem Monolith. Until the end is 1 black, 2 generic, tap. Until end turn, target creature gains. Whenever this creature is dealt damage, you draw that many cards and lose that much life. That creature's controller may have this artifact deal 1 damage to it. Activate as a sorcery. So you can tap this, give your Yargles the benefit, oh, if you block, then I'm going to draw a bunch of cards if you don't want me to kill you, especially if he has trample. And if you don't block him, I mean, you just basically lose. And then the 7-drop artifact, Achroma's Memorial. Nasty, nasty, nasty. Creatures you control have flying, first strike, vigilance, trample, haste, and protection from red and black. So it's a good way to protect him from damage spells, black removal spells, just nasty. And giving him all those keywords on Yargle, just, it's not nice. And then the last artifact we run with 8-drop, Skullspore Nexus. So 2 green, 6 generic. Spell cost X less, where X is the greatest power among creatures you control. So technically it could be a 2-drop if you had Yargle. Whenever 1 or more non-token creatures you control die, get a green fungus dinosaur creature token with a base power and toughness equal to the total power of those creatures. So if you had, say you go into combat and you have Zopedril doubling your power, and then you do a board wipe on all your creatures that aren't tokens, you'll get a massive fungus dinosaur that can snipe people out of the game. And then it also has pay 2 generic, tap, double target creature's power until the end of the turn. So you can double Yargle on attack declaration or on declaration of blockers with trample and just snipe someone out. That does it for all the spells. So we're going into some lands for you guys. All right. Start with our dual lands. We have Woodland Cemetery, Necroblossom Snarl, Llanowar Waste, Overgrown Tomb, and Deathcap Glade, and Tainted Wood. Woodland Cemetery enters tapped unless you control a swamp or a forest, and it taps for a black or green. Necroblossom Snarl. When it enters, you can reveal a swamp or a forest card from your hand. If you don't, Necroblossom Snarl enters the battlefield tapped. Taps for a black or green. Llanowar Waste taps for a colorless or can tap for black or green, but it deals 1 damage to you, so pain land. Overgrown Tomb. It is a swamp forest. As it enters, you may pay 2 life. If you don't, it enters tapped. So shock land, really good. Deathcap Glade enters tapped unless you control 2 or more other lands, so it's a slow land, but it taps for black or green. Then we have Tainted Wood, taps for a generic or add a swamp or a forest, activate only if you control a swamp. Those are all the dual color lands. Then we have some unique name lands. We have Command Tower, Rogue's Passage, Arid Archway, Yavimaya Cradle of Growth, and Mosswort Bridge. Command Tower, of course, is your rainbow land. Rogue's Passage is taps for a generic, but you can pay for, tap it, target creature can't be blocked, so it gives Yargle his unblockable going for kill. Arid Archway enters tapped, but when it enters the battlefield, return a land you control to its owner's hand. If another desert was returned, surveil 1. And then, of course, it's basically an Ancient Tomb, taps for 2 generic. Yavimaya Cradle of Growth. Each land is a forest in addition to its other types, so it fixes some of your color if you need more green out there. And then Mosswort Bridge has Hideaway. When this land enters the battlefield tapped. When it does, look at the top 4 cards of your library. Exile 1 face down, put the rest on the bottom. So you can basically scry for, tutor for a card that may help you. Then it taps for green. Then you may pay green, tap. You may play the exiled card without paying its mana cost if you control creatures that have a total power 10 or greater. So you have 4 creatures that are like 3s, you'll be able to do it. But just having Yargle makes that live. And then basic land package. We were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 swamp. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 forest. But yeah, guys, that is Yargle and Multani. A nasty commander. This is more of a fun deck, not meant to be in a competitive setting. But if you want to scare some people with a big, brutish creature, I mean, this is a fun way to go on it. He's just really, really fun. Played in a group recently, and when they see him, they're like, oh, that's a big creature, and they did everything they could to keep bodies out there to keep him blocked. But yeah, guys, thank you for watching. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And we look forward to bringing you more videos in the future, and I hope you enjoyed this deck tech. Man of Dorks signing off.